Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm doing my patch 13.17 top lane tier list. So if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So again, there were a couple of adjustments towards top laners this patch, but combined with a buff to Stridebreaker, Goredrinker, and Spirit Shogun has been beneficial towards top lane overall. There are definitely a lot of top laners who are performing to a higher degree, and let's talk about it. To begin with, Tryndamere is the biggest winner of this patch. He's going to go from B tier to S tier. He is someone who benefits a lot from the attack range, and losing 4 AD didn't do a huge amount to lower his overall power to keep it neutral. Instead, he gains like 2.5% win rate, really boosting his ability and power to just outright kill people, do more damage under tower because he has the ability to reach further, and just more successfully secure kills when he might have not been able to in the past. Definitely helps the champion a lot, puts him in a really good spot. Definitely try him. Might get nerfed in the next patch, but honestly, I think Riot might be happy with where he is sat now. Gnar is going to move up to the B tier. He got a bit more damage on both Q and W Mega form. This has definitely helped his ability to all in with Mega, helps him against a bunch of melee champions, helps him against ranged if he can definitely get onto them, but he does still have struggles with that and can get kited quite comfortably, but definitely performing a lot better. The things like Triforce, obviously still really good on this champion, alongside other items like Aatrox, Cleaver, Hullbreaker. He has a bunch of good options. You can flex your last slot quite nicely as well if you want to go things like your Gargles, your Fawn, Randuin's Omen, full mail. There are options there. He can definitely benefit from a lot of items in the later slots, but he's very much tied to the core of things like the Aatrox, the Cleaver, the Hullbreaker, and the Wits. All these items are still his top performers. Definitely give him a try though. He's been put in a lot of a better spot. Aatrox is going to move up to the S tier. Gaining magic damage on both the W and the passive has definitely helped his ability to do more damage early on into the game, as magic resist is lower than armor, as just early on. Overall, gonna definitely help him be pushed more towards bruiser builds, and with Goredrinker being buffed, he's definitely looking towards that route. He does have a higher win rate with Goredrinker, but definitely don't sleep on Stridebreaker. It is a really good item on him. Probably his best item if you just look at data, but it can come down to comfort. What do you prefer? Do you prefer having the healing if you're going things like Spirits, Stridebreaker? If you're going things like Spirits on top of the Goredrinker, Aatrox, and possibly a Gargles, then of course Revitalize and Spirits do feed quite nicely into like the whole combo you've got going on there. But yeah, Stridebreaker does work quite nicely if you're looking for a lot of chase, alongside items like your Schroeder's Grudge. Cleaver still really strong. Aatrox, Spirit Shogun even looks pretty good on Aatrox at the moment. Overall, just a lot of strong items, definitely able to be built on him. Definitely up there as being one of the best champs in the top lane at the moment. Now I'll talk about some of the Goredrinker and Stridebreaker buffed champions. These are quite a decent amount of the top lane, as a lot of them are bruisers. Things like Renekton, and Renekton is someone I'm definitely going to move up towards the S tier. He's benefiting a lot from Stridebreaker at the moment. He is still mostly building Goredrinker, but I definitely recommend looking at Stridebreaker. It synergizes quite nicely with him, allowing for really strong chase and just utility. Alongside that, Spirit Shogun also really good on Renekton. Cleaver, Aatrox, also really good options. You can go things like your Hullbreaker and your last slot alongside Death's Dance. More GA, all these items really good on Renekton. Puts him in a really good spot at the moment. Quite a nice top laner to play as well. He's kind of like the, if people consider like pro pick top laners, then Renekton is definitely up there as being one of the best at the moment. Sett, I'm actually going to push into the A tier, even though I do say numerous times that I do not like adjusting Sett's placement, because people still build this champion wrong, even though it's been like 2-3 years. But Stridebreaker Sett is just doing so well that he is deserving of an A tier spot. Just stop building bulk on this champion. It's bad, like, in the majority of matchups. It only really has merit if you can, like, Giga Stomp Heartsteel users, because it isn't great into armor, and it's only really good into health stackers. And then later on in the game, you are more kiteable, you're more squishy. Bork is just not as good as Stridebreaker in this regard. Whereas Stridebreaker really gives value in chase and just being more bruisery, and scales a lot better with items like Spirit Shogun, Sett exclusively, the Titanic Hydra, really good second item on him as well. Other items do work on the set, like your Aatrox, your Hull Breaker. All these do work quite nicely on the champion. Definitely gives him a lot of power at the moment. He has a really strong early mid game. Does fall off later on into the game if you're not able to continue to match the pace of the game with your items, but still doing really well at the moment. Other champions, of course, being things like Gnar. Really benefits from Stride Breaker at the moment. It being buffed, giving 75 more health, helps his health regen passive as well. Overall, just really beneficial towards Sett. Aurelia, Gnar, Stride Breaker, Triforce user, can also go Jack Show, but definitely is going to be looking more towards Stride and Gnar now that both these items have been buffed. However, I imagine her highest would rate still probably Triforce. It was performing quite a bit significantly amount better than the other options last patch. Tryndamere, Stride Breaker user, can go this as an option. It has looked pretty good in the data, but it's fairly limited sample size. Of course, Renekton, Aatrox, really good users of both Stride Breaker and Gnar. Pantheon actually has a really good Gnar build at the moment. Definitely consider going it. It has merit when you want to be more durable, and you're not as reliant on just being able to one-shot your opponent in lane. Fiora can go things like Stride Breaker, Gnar, but definitely leans more towards Triforce at the moment. It is an option, however. Kled, things like Eclipse and Stride both work quite nicely on him as options if you want to go either way with your build. Riven, I'm still going to say just go Lethality. She really benefits from a lot of the Lethality options and does a huge amount of damage, as most of her damage comes from bonus AD ratios. Darius, another Stride Breaker user I have, it does tend to perform better with Triforce. Same goes for Olaf. I think Rengar can go Stride Breaker and Gnar as options. However, also tends to be better off if you go things like the Essence Reaver into the Eclipse. Rek'Sai, another good Stride Breaker user. Alawi tends to be more tied towards Sheen, but can go Stride Breaker, Gnar, I imagine. Past that, I've heard Arpog talk about being able to run Stride Breaker into ranged champions. It does have merit there, so that could be an option. Gnar tends to do better with Triforce at the moment, so I'd recommend kind of going down that route. Uda can also go Stride Breaker, but tends to also be better with Triforce. A lot of these champions can go Stride Breaker, or Gnar, but then tend to be more tied towards the Sheen option if it's available to them, and they have a good way of continuously proccing it. Otherwise, then yeah, the whip items are really strong at the moment. Definitely good as static options. Can also work as just inherent power through like what they do, whether you need healing or the ability to slow. Both have options there. For nerfs, there aren't actually a huge amount. There were like adjustments towards a lot of champions. I mean, nerfs wise, it was mostly Neferi, but past that, she kind of stays in the A tier. She wasn't doing too bad as a top laner, but the nerfs definitely did hurt it, and she's kind of staying low A tier now. Other than that, Action and Quinn got adjusted. Both of them kind of stayed fairly power neutral, bit more durable, bit less damage, but overall still very good options at the moment. Both of them are very good S tier picks. And yeah, past that, Camille, still a really strong champion at the moment. If I was considering moving anyone from the S tier down, probably be things like Warwick, Mordekaiser, and there was one other chap which I was looking at, which I can't find. Oh, Shen. But however, Shen also has merit in the fact that he has a really valuable ult, which kind of just gives him value where a lot of other champions don't in the top lane, which allows him to keep his S tier spot. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about in this patch. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.